today we're with Michelle Jinks, aka Memphis Shell, and the world of burlesque, which is something that's very new to me. And you discovered it last year. So Michelle, from Athlone, tell us, how did you get into burlesque?
Oh God, I love this question. First of all, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited about doing this podcast. How did I get into burlesque? I got into burlesque actually 10 years ago. And it was something I was always very interested in. It was always something I really admired. I grew up watching, showgirls in the 1950s movies and all that glamour. And then as I got older, then I kind of was introduced to burlesque by Dita Von Teese. At the time, she was married to Marilyn Manson. And I was like, oh, what's this that she's doing? And I got very interested in it. That was kind of in my 20s. But growing up in Ireland and in a Catholic Ireland and being a woman growing up in Ireland, doing something like that would be very, very taboo. And so I just kind of was like, I'll leave it to the professionals. It won't be something I'll be able to do. Because you also have the Catholic guilt of your body and how shameful it is to be showing your body off. So I left it. And then a few years later, when I was in my 30s, I had this realization that I was turning 33. And at the time, naive me thought that was old. And burlesque still somehow just stayed in the back of my mind of like an art, a type of art that I wanted to do. And I thought to myself, if I'm going to do it, now is the time to do it. So I just kind of plunged into it, started looking up online. Of course, I'm from Athlone, and you know yourself, it's a small town. There's nothing like that you can really get into. You kind of need to look outside the box. So I started looking into places like Dublin and Galway they would have like burlesque shows and festivals, and I just reached out to someone who was a performer at the time and also a producer of the Galway Burlesque Festival, and her name is Sheer Madness. She's sadly retired now. We're all trying to encourage her to come back, but she is retired at the moment. And I did reach out to her. She gave me like a list of things to do, like, go to shows, go to workshops, look up different performers, look up the history of burlesque, and that will kind of help you find where you fit in the scene. So I did exactly what she told me to do. And the first workshop I ever went to, I was really, really afraid because I didn't know what to expect. And the first workshop I went to was like the art of the tease. So this is how you take your garments off and how to do it gracefully and elegantly, but also, keeping the human gaze on you when you're on stage, like keeping them connected with you. So I went to this workshop where I met a performer. She's my longest burlesque friend, Scarlett Van Tassel, and I met her there. She'd been performing a few years, and she kind of guided me through the workshop. Even though she wasn't the one teaching it, she kind of knew how nervous I was, and we instantly clicked. And then after that workshop, she told me about another workshop that was happening in Dublin, and it was like feather fans. If you know burlesque, feather fans is normally the one thing that you see is these big, beautiful fans. And she was telling me this workshop was going on. So I was like, right, here's another one I'll go to. And I went to that one. And that is where I met the beautiful Azaria Starfire, who was one of the headliners at my festival last year. She was a headliner on the Friday night. And I met her. And she approached me at the end of the workshop and had said to me, how long are you doing burlesque? And I was like, well, I'm not actually doing burlesque. I'm thinking about getting into burlesque. I haven't performed on stage yet. And she said, well, I really, really think that you have it. And I really think that you should apply for Miss Burlesque Ireland. So this was in 2016. And Miss Burlesque Ireland is obviously like a collection of, seasoned performers that are getting on stage. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to compete with these people. And she was like, I'm telling you, you should apply for it. And, just apply for it. Just get like a simple video of you performing and, we'll take a look at it and, just apply. So I did. And I did get into Miss Burlesque Ireland in 2016. Now, bear in mind, that happened and I had my first ever performance on stage just a few months before that. And that was at a fundraiser in Athlone, in the piano bar, in front of everybody I knew. So in a way, that's one way how you know you're going to be able to do it, or at least kind of get a feeler of how you feel about it yourself on stage, because, you know, because every performer has their performer name, which is their alter ego. And it's like acting. You take on this character and you bring this character on stage.
Right.
It's not necessarily, like, it's never Michelle that's on stage. It's always Memphis. So at this fundraiser, it was kind of the decider for me as to whether I was going to go forward with burlesque or not. And like that, I went up and I performed. And when I got off the stage, I just had this like adrenaline rush that I'd never felt before. And it just felt amazing. And like for like the first time in my life, I kind of felt really proud of my body. And I was like, people are like really enjoyed that. They really enjoyed that little bit of a performance that I had brought on stage, because, you know, I was very new, and they like really enjoyed that. And I was like, okay, I think this is something I can do. And then I was like, let's do Miss Burlesque Ireland, which was in the Tivoli Theatre in Dublin. I think that's gone now, but it was there. And like that, this is this big stage, and you're surrounded by all these performers that all already know each other. And even though it's like a competition setting, I'm very much like a person that just likes to talk to people, and I like to get to know people. And I was afraid at first, but everybody that was there was just so nice. They were so friendly. They were so helpful. Like even trying to get into my corset, like this is all new to me. And they're like, oh, we'll help you. And, you know, like, oh, you know, make sure you put your shoes on before you go out. Just the little things of, you know, that you think you won't forget, but you will forget. Like there's times that I will be getting ready to go on stage and I'll realise I don't have my shoes on because I didn't put them on before my corset. There's all these things that I learned along the way. So I did Miss Burlesque Ireland, and that is kind of where I kind of flourished as a performer. There was like 3 categories at the competition. It was kind of like a classic burlesque routine, and then there was a neo burlesque routine, which would be kind of like a new age kind of like up to date version of like burlesque.
Okay.
And your classic is very old school, like paying homage to like all the burlesque legends. And then there was like a unique section, so it's a performance that would like show you as a performer and the type of performer that you are. And I did a performance to David Bowie's Cat People. I had a 7-foot coffin on stage. And the theme was kind of like vampire, because I'm a massive horror fan, and I wanted my character to kind of show that when I'm on stage. Anything I do always taps into horror. Everything I do, like even like the name of my burlesque show in town is Only After Dark, and that's after one of the soundtracks in From Dusk Till Dawn. You know, so I always kind of try to tap back into what I love and bring that with me on stage. So I did this performance, and I had these like beautiful Isis wings, and I was performing on stage, and I called that act The Birth of Memphis, because even though I had done 2 other performances, this one felt more natural to me. I kind of felt, I didn't feel like I was kind of choreographing it too much. I kind of like went with the performance, like pun intended. I absolutely winged it. I absolutely winged the performance. And like and that's kind of how Memphis like came about. And then a year later, then I decided I was going to start producing my own show in Athlone.
That was massive. And what does it take then, when you decided I want to do, like, what does that mean? Like standing in front of the mirror, doing routines, practicing, like making stuff up. Like how did you go about like making a routine? Is that what you do? Was there a dancing involved? Do you have to be a dancer to be burlesque?
Well, no, you absolutely don't have to be a dancer. I have no dance training. I have no training in drama or anything. Like obviously we were all forced into plays when we were younger in school, but I was never part of like any like kind of community stuff like that. But for me, it like I love music. And every time I listen to music, it always takes me to a different place. And like I love watching people like interpretive dance. I love watching that, like someone that really connects with their music. So for me, it was like a love of music, a love of dance, and I'm not trained. And also the love of like telling a story. Because that's what burlesque does. It's like they're storytellers. Like it's a storytelling art form, and yes, it has the tease in it, and yes, it has the striptease in it as well. But it was just something that anytime I looked at it, I was like, this is something I really want to do, and it gave me an opportunity to express myself on stage as a performer, but also like connect with myself, connect with my own body, be okay with my own body, understand that like the female form is not this offensive, like shunned thing that I was like brought up to believe, that, you know, sit in the corner, be quiet, don't draw attention to yourself. And it turns out that like being in burlesque, it's the complete opposite. It's like take up as much space as you can.
Yeah.
You know, be as sexual as you want to be as free with your body. You don't have to be like a particular size. Whatever your acid is as a burlesque performer, that's what you use. And yeah, it's just, it was just one of those art forms that I was like, I can piece this together myself, and it can be something that I truly own, and not something that somebody has put together for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So even now as a performer, you're constantly tweaking. Everything is a new show. Everything is a new performance. Everything. So is that like a new idea? You have a new idea for each particular performance that you do?
Yeah, like, I mean, I only have like a handful of acts, say, that I have or will be booked. I have a lot more in my head. They're living in my head rent free, with the songs, with the costumes, with everything. But when I started producing, I didn't realize how much I would love producing as well as performing. And the producing side of things kind of started to take over, and because, you know, I had these like few acts kind of in my performance bank, and I was like, I have them for a while and then I can move on to a new one. But when you're producing shows, that takes up a lot of your time.
Right.
And then in Ireland, like, burlesque is still very much a baby. Like, it was making such a great like surge in Ireland, and then COVID happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and COVID happened.
Right.
And then when we came back after COVID, there were so many great shows, there were so many great festivals that we used to have, and, you know, they either came back for a little bit or they didn't come back at all. So it was nearly like trying to rebuild that all over again when we came back out of lockdown. So like that, I focused a lot on my shows because I want to have a space for performers to go on stage and show their art to like the amazing audience members that are always at the shows. And that was just really important. That became more important to me than me creating a new act, even though my acts constantly haunt me in my head. And it's like, just buy the costume and go on stage and do it. I'll always fill it in with something else show related that needs to be done. And it's not to say like, oh, I'm so selfless and look at me making this space for performers. But like, I love it. I love it so much. And I love putting a show together and getting these performers together that like all have such massive respect for each other. They're all so nice backstage. They all look after each other. And it's nearly like looking after a new family. You know, like I've adopted all these burlesque babies and drag babies and DJ babies, and it's amazing, and I love it. Like, and it's like a whole other like sparkle family. And so my time really goes into that at the moment. But for an act for myself, I find a song I love, and if that song won't leave my brain, then I'm gonna create a costume to go with the theme. I try and see what kind of story I'm going to be able to tell with using this song, using the lyrics in it, like just using the music in general and the musicality of it, and see will it work for me, and like work for me as Memphis as well. I don't normally perform to extremely cheerful songs. Okay. It's normally slow and moody and that kind of vibe that I go for. But yeah, so maybe there'll be some new burlesque acts coming from me, hopefully, in the next while. We'll see.
She's brilliant, yeah. It's and do you find now, since you put on the show, have you found that there's a lot more people coming into the space, like coming into burlesque? Do you see a lot? I know you do, when you do your show, you do a newcomers on a Friday. Do you find you get loads of people entering that? Is it growing?
Oh, for my festival? Yeah, so the festival like that started 4 years ago. That was another kind of idea that was sitting in the back of my brain before COVID. And I was like, what if I had a festival in Athlone, like a burlesque festival in Athlone? Would it do well? Because you had a burlesque festival in Belfast, Dublin, Cork and Galway. And then kind of after lockdown, there wasn't really any. And then Dublin came back and Cork started having their festival. And I think after COVID, I kind of got that attitude of just do it. Because, you know, there was a time and space where none of us thought that this was ever going to come back at any stage. And I was like, just give it a go, see what happens. And like that, I'd seen the format of other festivals and had performed at other festivals myself, and just loved that there would be people, like at the time I was like, hopefully there would be people that would want to apply for the festival that would never be in Athlone. Ever in their life. They would never be in Athlone, because why would they come to Athlone? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like that, it started off as a teeny tiny little idea, and then I was just like, I'm going to chance this and see if it works. And like that, I reached out to the Dark Horse, where I have my regular show Only After Dark, and had said to them, you know, would you be interested in like giving me the upstairs space for a weekend? There's something I really want to try. And they were like, of course, you know, we'll work with you. They're always great. The staff, everybody is always amazing in there. And like that, the first festival I had, I like that, trying to pick a name. And you're also trying to pick a name that will like kind of resonate with people that are online looking for festivals. And if you put the Athlone Burlesque Festival, people are going to be like, where is that?
Yeah.
You know, where is it? So I was like, okay, I need to, like, if somebody types in Ireland, Festival Ireland, will they find me? And I just thought the heart of Ireland, because it's geographically correct for Athlone. I thought it was a great name. It kind of represented what I wanted the festival to be about. It was kind of my love for burlesque and like my newfound love for my town, which, you know, when you're a teenager, you want to get out of there. But then when you get older and you realise this is where I'm staying, you start to realise how great things actually are. So I kind of wanted to tie the two of them together, and I just thought the Heart of Ireland Burlesque Festival. And then for international performers that are looking, Ireland is in the title. So they're going to be like, oh, let's have a look at this and see where this is, you know. So like that, the first year we had the applications open, and I didn't think I was going to get as many applications as I got at the time. I thought if I've 10 on the Friday night and I've 10 on the Saturday night, if I at least get like 20 people that apply, the festival can go ahead. Like, you know, you're just hoping, because I always start small and then aim big. So yeah, I put out that the applications had opened, and we got like a really nice amount of people interested in the festival. And then like that, we got a headliner from the States at the time, Margot Mayhem. She had like won best debut at the Burlesque Hall of Fame, which takes place in Las Vegas. That is the Olympics of burlesque. For anybody who doesn't know what it is, that is the Olympics. It's any burlesque performer's dream to like even just be there or be on the stage or have some sort of part of it. It's just amazing. Wow. And we had Margot Mayhem, and then, you know, I had a lot of friends help me out as well, and it was a massive success. And I was like, okay, let's see what'll happen in year 2. And in year 2, then that's when I approached the Dean Crow Theatre, and brilliant. I was kind of like, I don't know if they're going to go for this, because when you say burlesque, a lot of people don't know what you're talking about, or it has a stigma on it that some people think that, you know, it's seedy and it has stripping. It's like, yeah, of course it has stripping. Like, of course it does. It's like, you know, we're not going to take that away because, you know, we're having a festival in a tiny little town. But they were really okay with it. They were okay. They were like, look, you work away, you do your thing, and we'll see how it goes. And it's been really successful. Every year the applications are getting higher and higher and harder to go through. It's just brilliant. Like just people from all over the world. Like even this year, people who have gotten into the festival is like, there's people from Canada, there's people from Australia, France, Germany, Los Angeles, New York. Like, you know, so it's expanding. It's really after expanding. And, you know, people have heard about the festival. Yeah, they hear about it online, but I think the one thing that kind of makes me want to do the festival every year is a lot of the time, if somebody applies for the festival, they have heard from somebody else that has taken part at the festival. And they're like, if there's a festival you're applying for, you should apply for this festival. It's a really nice, you know, like homely festival. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. And so far it's going well.
Yeah, the last one was brilliant. We were at the last one. It was
You
fantastic.
were, yes,
It
you
was-
were.
it
I
was
know that was
amazing.
very new for you as well.
It was a real eye opener, but it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, it was classy. It's not what you think, because you don't know what to think.
Yeah, like, and
Until you're
I
there.
know people that, like, you know, they say like, oh, you know, it's classy, and like, I don't like. I know I hear people say that, like, you know, oh, burlesque is like classy stripping. It's like, burlesque is stripping. Stop trying to put a word before it to make you feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Or, you know, try and, like, yeah, it's just some people feel uncomfortable with the word stripping. And it's very important that people understand that burlesque is stripping, and it's not fancy stripping. It is stripping, and that is it. Yes, there are laws, like, you know, over in the States, it's like blue collar laws, where it's like there's certain parts of your body that you can't expose. Like in Ireland, like, female nipples are the most offensive thing on the planet. So, like, you know, you wear your pasties, and that's the way it is in a lot of countries where, you know, you have to keep your pasties on, you keep your pants on. And that's why you will see a lot of male burlesque performers. They don't have to, but they actually wear pasties out of solidarity for women, because it's something that we can't do. Like, some women, like, say tomorrow, you know, it's like, oh, you can have your nipples on stage if you want. But, like, I know myself, I love having a tassel, and I love being able to spin my tassel on stage. But if some other performer was coming up after me and she wanted, you know, to, like, be bare, I'd be totally okay with it. And, like, I'm sure the audience member, you know, or members,
Would be okay.
you know, would be okay with it as well, because, you know, they'd obviously be told, like, you know, there's a certain extent to, like, nudity. But back on the point, yes, burlesque is stripping. Yeah.
But it's classy because it's done in a way, because it, like you said, there's a story behind it. So
Yeah,
that
like-
they show, like, it takes ages for it to happen. And
Yeah,
you can
like, I
see-
mean, it does take time. It takes a massive amount of effort. It takes time in, like, rehearsing in studios. But this is this will be something that you'll be getting booked for in other shows. So obviously you want to stand out. You know,
Right.
from everybody else, you want to stand out. As much as we're like, oh, you know, it's all community and stuff, but, you know, like, we all want to get booked, so we all want to be, like, the best performer that we can be. And, like, again, back to the point of, like, it being classy. Like, I mean, yeah, we have, like, bigger costumes, but if you go, like, into, like, a strip club, and there's, like, women working in a strip club, and that is their work, and, you know, like, because sex work is work, and they're working there, you can be sure that these women have put in just as much time. Like, they may not have, like, a sparkly rhinestoned costume, but their work that they put in to even pole performing. Like, I couldn't pole perform. I couldn't lift myself up. They're, like, you know, these people are athletes. Do you know, like, I could never turn around and say that, like, I'm better than, like, a sex worker that works in a club, because I'm absolutely not. And any other burlesque performer that's out there would agree with me. It's like, it is, yes, it can be on a theatre stage. Yes, it can be on a bigger stage. But that's why the first time I had my festival in the Dean Crowe Theatre, the opening act that I had for my festival was 4 pole performers on stage.
Brilliant.
And that was to show people that this requires a lot of work. And it's trying to get that stigma away from burlesque and from pole performing, for people to understand that this in itself is an art form. And, like, the theme of the 4 burlesque performers that we had, I had them dressed in white. They represented the children of Lear, like, as in a storytelling, but the story is like pole performers and artists in Ireland taking flight and being given the space on a theatre stage to showcase their work and to tell their stories. And like, that's very important to me. I know I probably sound like I'm preaching at you, but it's very important to me that people understand that a lot of work, whether you're working in a club or whether you're on a stage, a lot of work goes into those performances. A lot of, like, dedication goes into those performances, and you're giving up your time, your spare time, you're giving up time that you spend with your family, like occasions and all of this, for your work, you know. So it you know, so burlesque is classy, but also is the rest of the performances that does involve stripping. That's just kind of,
we were with Serena. We went to the pole dancing, and my God,
yes, Yeah,
It
so
was
you've seen with Serena,
phenomenal.
yeah, exactly. You've seen with Serena the work and the dedication, and like that, like there are people that will go to pole classes, and there are people that will go to burlesque classes that may never get on stage, but they go to this because it's so empowering, and it's so empowering as a woman to be able to take control of your own body, have a say in how much space it takes, have a say in what way it moves, have a say in how much you show and how much you don't show. And it literally is about control and empowerment for women. I can only speak for women. I'm sure it's the same for like male performers who are performing. I'm sure it is that thing of like getting, but kind of becoming like one with yourself for like a few minutes on stage. You feel like the person that like you want to be all of the time, but you can't, because this is a character. This is somebody you have created, and you can't be this person all the time. It's like people always say to me, oh, the confidence you must have to do burlesque. I'm like every other woman out there. It's like I was coming in here, it's like, oh, is my hair okay? What about my eyelashes? We're like all burlesque performers, all like pole performers, anybody that's in the arts, we're all insecure about our work. We're our own worst critics. And we want to be confident all the time, but we can't. We're like we're just human like everybody else. But we just actually have the stage time to get up and get our reality, even if it's only for the space of a song, to kind of just be free and empowered for those few minutes.
You're kind of like superheroes.
Yeah.
You're kind of just like...
Not all heroes wear capes.
You just turn and on stage and you're someone else and save the world, and you're back to paying bills again.
Yeah, and it's weird, like when you tell people, like it's nearly like, you know, I'm two different people. But even I was in New York a few weeks ago, and I went to my friend's show, Fire and Fury Burlesque. So I was there as Michelle. I wasn't there performing. I was there as Michelle. I was there with my husband, and we were sitting there and we were watching the show. And my friend Rex, who runs the show, was on stage and told people that I was there and that I was the producer of the Heart of Ireland Burlesque Festival, and got me to go on stage. And when I went on stage, I was so nervous because I hadn't tapped into Memphis mode. I was Michelle, and I was like, this is really awkward. So I just like got up and did a little spin and kind of waved, and I was like, you know, slouched over, like getting off the stage, like something I like. If I'm ever doing a burlesque class, I'm like, you know, you keep them shoulders straight, and you know the way you get on stage is how you get off stage. It's like, you know, you're on when you're on, and that's it. But when I'm Michelle, I can be like a blubbering mess, like kind of like what I am right now.
It's mad the difference in.
But
you just switch, I suppose. You just switch because you're in your acting mode or whatever. You're in your performing mode. Yeah. So you can't walk around Tesco's like that.
No. I don't think people would like me very much if I was to walk around like Memphis all the time. I did actually meet somebody before who had been at my show, and a few weeks later I met them just in like a coffee shop in town. And they were like, I know you. And I was like, he was like, do you run the burlesque show? I said, I do. And he goes, oh, we've met. And I went, oh, I remember. I was like, you're the person that wouldn't sit down. And I laughed. And he was like, oh, you're much nicer during the day. So, but what he was saying was, you're much nicer as Michelle, because Memphis is very much like, you know, sit down, watch. The show's not about you. It's about the performers I'm about to bring on. So I don't know. Maybe I should get Memphis to go to anger management class.
Possibly, yeah. We could do the town could do with a few more Memphises, maybe.
No, they don't.
Keep it in line.
One of us is enough, trust me.
And have you found then over the years, is there anyone else from the town that got into it, or from say smaller little towns or villages? Have you seen that happen?
So in Athlone, I have tried to help people kind of come into the burlesque scene. Now, I do have a new burlesque baby at the moment. I'm not going to say anything about her yet, because I'm not sure if she has like announced it. But we have been talking for like many years about her getting on stage. She like already has like amazing stage presence. I can see it in her. It's nearly like the way Azari has seen it with me. It was like, you have it, and I just need to get you on that stage for you to realise that this is going to be something that you're going to love. So I have her, and I know that she's going to be on stage very soon. And I'm working with another girl who is actually doing a documentary about her journey into burlesque, and, you know, how it is going to be like helping her with like confidence. So like how she felt before burlesque, and then how it was afterwards. And I'll be like working like one-on-one with her, mentoring her to get her like ready for a show in the new year for this documentary that she's doing. But like I was saying, I did work with a few people and it didn't happen. I think some people want to do it, but then when they realise the amount of work that's actually required to get on the stage, it can be a bit daunting for people. It's not to say that people are lazy, it's just they might just go, oh, I didn't think it was like this at all. Like, you know, I didn't think every penny I'm going to be buying rhinestones and glue, and you know that these costume pieces are very expensive. You know, that's why we're always very like stern on the fact that you don't take anything as a souvenir belonging to a performer, because there's hours of work gone into it and money gone into it. You know, like a lot of performers will make their own costume piece, you know, and some of these costume pieces can be like irreplaceable, like you might not be able to get them again. So yeah, some people I have tried to encourage. There are other people like Serena who had approached me about wanting to go on stage in Only After Dark, and you know was nervous about it, but when she got up and had that moment to just be on stage and it wasn't competition based, she could just go up and be herself, and she could perform to any song she wanted to, and she just absolutely loved it. And like that, she's had girls from her studio that have also come onto the Only After Dark stage as well. I know there is another pole school that's after opening now, because Serena's is closed,
that's right,
unfortunately, because she's a mammy now, so that's okay. We'll let her be a mammy. So I know the Coven is open here in town, so that's another pole studio that's after opening with Pole Bat, who actually used to teach in Serena's. So when you have spaces like that available to people, that's when you can start getting people on stage. But Athlone, unfortunately, doesn't have a lot of space for, like, say, me to teach workshops and me to try and like get classes together. Like there's other places like up in Belfast. Belfast is just, the support that they have for the arts up in Belfast is second to none. It's like all the pole studios, all the burlesque classes, everything that's up there just always sells out. Like people are so hungry to do this, and like that, even if it's just for themselves or to get up on stage, they're there and they're ready to do it. But at the moment, Athlone just doesn't have that space for me to be like, you know, teaching like regular classes and to try and encourage more performers to get up and like more like newcomers. I do have people who reach out to me, but they would be not in kind of like the Athlone area, you know, that sort of way. But if we get a space, there should be more. There is like kind of like there's like shows in Galway. You have like the Dirty Circus, you have like Sin City up in Belfast, in Dublin there is Glitter Crash is up there, Queer Stage is up there, and then in Tullamore then there's As Above So Below, and they kind of run like Only After Dark. They kind of run every few months. It's very important that you do it every few months, because if you do it too regularly, people won't go. They'll just get bored. So you need it to be like nearly like a gold dust, and you're like, oh, it's back now, and you better come to this one because you're not going to see it for another few months.
Oh, brilliant. So Tullamore has one.
Yeah.
So
Tullamore has one,
a little
with,
scene over
Bombshell Goulet, yeah. So she runs a pole studio over there as well. Yeah. So, you know, and you'd see some of her students that she would have had now taken to the stage as well. So it's like that. If you have a space that you can teach, that's really important. If you can have a space that you can teach and people have something regular that they can go to, then people get a little bit more confident and they're like, yeah, maybe I'll go on stage. Yeah. You know, like I do help other performers, like new performers coming up. I will help them and give them my time to a certain extent. Then after that, you have to pay.
Fair enough. It's you all have to eat.
We all have to eat. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's what you're saying there as well, with like the arts councils and stuff. Like there really isn't much in Athlone for things like that, and even a communal place where other people could use a space. Would be something that we could approach the councils, or is it something, have you tried? Or
like I know there are groups in town that have approached the council about it, saying that, you know, we need a space. Like there are spaces there, but they're not the right spaces. You know, you could have a space that like has like, you know, a nice big dance floor, but like the mirrors on the wall would be like something from like a House of Horrors. When you go in, it's like on one mirror you're like shrunk to this size, then or you're stretched, you know, and you kind of you need nice mirrors, like, you know, if you're teaching dance or whatever. But yeah, like if we had a space in Athlone for something like that, because like Athlone is like an artsy little town,
It is,
you know, and it's like the reason why people don't know this is because we're all working out of little hobbled holes, you know what I mean? trying to get this art out there, like the Athlone family, I'm probably going to say this wrong, the Family Resource Centre.
Yes.
They do like amazing stuff for the like parades, like the Athlone River Festival.
River Festival, yeah.
Like the parade that they had last year, like I was lucky that they asked me to take part in it. It was so enjoyable. But like the puppets that they had made, like they had rescued some of the puppets that were like in storage that
Tanta had.
That,
God,
like
that was just...
Tanta, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And like those puppets were getting the bin. You know, they were going into a skip somewhere and they were like, no, give them to us. We can do something with them. And they did. They brought them back to life. And but like that, they have limited space of like storage, and you know, even for their, like they do lots of workshops in town, and like that they have a limited space of how many people they can have at them. Whereas if they had a bigger space, you know, these things will be better known in town, and it'll be a place that people will go in and out of a lot more. You know, it's like even this year now for my festival, I will be set dressing the festival stage with some of the puppets that they've made, and
Brilliant.
You know, some of the stuff they've done for like the Athlone River Festival, and like I know they have a St. Bridget puppet. We're in the process of building a Sheila McGee puppet for the first ever Pride Parade that's happening in Athlone in June, and we're doing that. I'm hoping to have her on stage. They also have like really nice like big St. Bridget's crosses, and I really want that like Irish art, that Irish kind of culture injected into my festival. Like that's really important for me. I can have all the sparkles and the glitz, but I want to have like the talent from the town literally there on the stage.
Yeah.
And then like just have like a little QR code that people can donate to them, you know, on the night. Like it'll be there and people can throw them a few euro and stuff like that. And that also helps them like work towards other projects that be coming up during the year. But yeah, we need a space.
Yeah.
We'll start a petition.
We'll start a petition.
Yeah.
We'll start it. This is how it starts here now. So.
This is how I think it's already
Comments.
started, but we won't take full credit, but some credit.
We'll take anything we can get at this
Anything,
stage,
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so where do you see the space going? So like you're 10 years in it now. Where do you see it going in the next 10 years? Can you see it sort of blossoming out or moving in different directions, or do you see it getting bigger?
Yeah, I do. I'm hoping. I really, really hope that burlesque will flourish and be like have a space like it does like in the UK or like Berlin or New York or like France. And it's just, there's so many places that you go to that like they have burlesque shows every night. And these shows are like selling out every night, and it's amazing. It like, as I was saying earlier on, I probably got sidetracked. I was saying that like burlesque is still such a baby in Ireland. It's like there's very few like burlesque performers who are actually doing this as their living, as their actual job, because the fact that there's not that many shows, there's not that much work. And so, you know, where do you get the money from? You know, it's like you have to have like a full-time job. Like for the last 10 years of me doing burlesque, I've always had a full-time job. And it's, you're always working that job, and then in the evening time, you're putting all your time into like maybe you're rehearsing or making a costume or getting yourself ready for like a gig that you might have in the weekend. And like that, you're giving up your weekend time with like the other part of your life, you know, like the normal part of your life, and you're giving that up to go to this. And at the moment, like Irish burlesque performers are mainly doing it for the love of it, because, you know, it's not going to pay our bills.
Right.
You know, so hopefully that will improve. I know like the council is trying to support spaces now, and then you have like the basic income arts grant that's out as well for artists. And I'm just I'm hoping, myself included, I'm hoping to see some burlesque performers actually, you know, benefit from that and be given the time to like have that space to be creative. Because if you have a full-time job, it's very hard to get to other workshops or even apply to go to other festivals, because you're taking your holidays and you know, you're sacrificing a lot like for this art. It's worth it for me. 100% it's worth it for me. And I know there's performers out there that'll say it too. It's worth it for them. But I feel like burlesque needs a little push, and I'm hoping that my festival is going to somehow take part in that, like, you know, having international performers coming over, like people that haven't gotten into the festival or are only hearing about it now are still like, next year, you know, I'm going to apply next year, and it's something that they want to do. It's somewhere they want to go, and that's here in this little town. So if I can do it here, I'm pretty sure that other towns will be able to start up other shows and get, like, you know, a lot more support than say what we've gotten over the last few years.
Yeah. And have you found that your festival's getting bigger every year?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes, it frightens me. It frightens me. I'm the type of person, I like to keep control of everything. And over the last few years, I've been learning to hand over some responsibilities to like friends of mine that I trust with my soul, like for them to be stage manager and for them to say to me, now you need to step back and go and do your hair because we have this part under control and you don't need to be here. And it's hard for me to let it go because it's obviously a project so close to my heart, and I wanted to do well, and I wanted to like be an addition to like Irish burlesque history, that, you know, that this festival came along and changed something along the way of like how international performers see us and see that we're like, that Ireland is a spot worth stopping off in. You know, it's like, I know some people that have applied for the festival have thought it's in Dublin, and I'm like, no, it's not in Dublin. It's in a teeny tiny little town in the middle of Ireland. And with the success of it, I'm just hoping that it keeps going. I have a 5-year plan. Next year's is year 5, and so far it's going well. It's going better than I thought. It's going a lot better than I thought. After year 5, we'll see if we'll aim for year 10.
Brilliant. And do you find now, especially with the way that life has gone and youngsters, that the social media side of things, do you find that that's something that gets you out more, gets people seeing burlesque more? Because years ago we wouldn't have heard of it. You might have seen, but do you find now that you're posting on different things like TikTok and Instagram that there's more awareness? And
yeah, I mean, I'm going to start this point by saying I hate social media. I hate what it's done to artists. We've all become influencers, but we have to do it. Over the last 10 years, I've used social media, and it has been a massive platform to introduce new people into burlesque and people that haven't seen it. Like, you have reels going up now, so people get a clip and they get to see what it's actually like at a show and the different types of performers that you have. But what I do find now, over I'd say the last 3 years, is people are spending less time online. And if they are, it's a very quick scroll and they're gone again. So it's very hard to stay on top of like the algorithm and all that. I had spoken to you earlier on about this spoken word reel that I have started doing. And I have seen a difference in interaction with those than just like a post that I put up with a beautiful performer. And I'm like, why are you not liking this? And you're liking me shouting at you to buy tickets. But yeah, social media is helping, but I feel like we are taking a step back, and I really feel that it's back to posters. It's back to putting posters up in town, and I find if I put posters up in town, like, tickets will sell faster, because like that you'll catch somebody's eye walking past it and they'll be like, oh, and then they'll look it up online. Right. Whereas that same person that wouldn't have seen that poster mightn't have even seen your reel or your post that you're putting up, because everything is so fast. It's like the next thing, and then they move on. So I feel like even though we're kind of going forward with social media, I feel like for shows and anything that's going on, like on the entertainment side of things, I feel like we're going back to posters. Like, thank God the printing places haven't closed down. No.
She's brilliant. Yeah, it's interesting. That's actually interesting. Yeah, the old days of band marathons and posters everywhere. Yeah. And probably you would have put posters up at the beginning, I'm assuming, for your
I would have put posters up in the beginning, and then you had this thing of, oh, I don't need to do that anymore because social media is going to do that for me. And then like that, the algorithm is the worst thing that could have happened to social media, because how do you find something new? If social media is just throwing what you like at you, you're not going to see anything new. It's very rare that something new might pop up. That's why you see a lot of businesses being like, oh, like and share, and because different people are sharing it that would have a different reach to other people. So at a time it was like, this is great. I don't have to go out in the rain anymore and hang a poster. And now I'm like, I have to go out in the rain now and hang a poster. And that's normally what happens to me. Every time I go out with a poster, it starts raining. So out with the sellotape and back to the...
Nothing to do with the Irish weather, just
weather,
you. It's your fault.
We are
rains.
blessed with the clouds and the rain, aren't we?
So we can blame you now when it rains next time.
Yeah, blame me, yeah.
She's out with a poster
Anytime
again.
it rains, you're like, she's out putting up posters.
But it's and do you find then, obviously with the social media, does your audience get younger?
That's it with burlesque is all ages that you would have like interested in a show. Like I have this won't be out by the show will be over by the time this is out, but like this weekend is like my Star Wars show, so people that will come to that show at the weekend might not be people that have ever been to the show. They're probably coming because the fact that they've seen it's a Star Wars themed night, and they might come dressed up because they did last year, and they might come dressed up. They'll know it's a burlesque show or whatever, but they may have never went to one only for the fact that it had like this theme. So there's like, I find with a lot of my shows you will have a lot of newcomers. You have your regulars, and I love my regulars. I will love you forever. Thank you so much for buying tickets for 10 years or 9 years. But you will find that you have like a lot of new people coming to the shows, and then they become the regulars. And so like a younger crowd, I think it's kind of from like 21 and up that tends to come in. Every now and then you might get like a table of like, you know, like a younger group that might be like 19 or something. Right. And this is all new to them, but they'll love it.
Okay.
You know, so it's something new for them. But again, it's that thing of it's getting the kind of message out to them that the show is happening. And like that, if they have their certain algorithm they're looking all day, it's not going to come up. So that's why I think back to posters, you know.
And would a Star Wars theme attract more men, do you think?
No.
Really?
No, I mean, there'll be men there, but like it's just as much men as there is women. You know, it's like everybody thinks that, you know, burlesque performers do it for the male gaze. They don't. They do it for the females. Like when we're there, our audience are the women. Like we want to impress the women because women are harsher judges than men. Men are so easy, please. Like, and I'm sorry, no offense.
No, you're right, yeah.
But men are so easy, please. And if you want to know you've done a good performance, you get your opinion from a woman, and they're going to tell you. Yeah, so that's, if you're impressing the women in the audience, you're doing a really good job with the men then.
That's really interesting, yeah.
But like, I mean, it's not to say we don't want men audience members there. We do. And it's not that we don't love ye, but it's just we like the women more.
Yeah.
Because they're, you know,
I suppose,
they expect
like,
more.
If we went to that now, you'd expect, if we see a lightsaber and Princess Leia buns, job done.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, yeah,
exactly. Cool. You'd be like, oh wow, that was amazing. You know, they literally could walk out and come back in. You're like, that was great. Whereas, you know, you have a woman who's watching it and they'd be like waiting for them to come in. Not saying that, you know, not throwing shade or anything like that, but yeah, it's like women. And is it
because then women know, like they're looking at makeup, they're looking at dresses, they know what's gone into it, and they know the work, and they're trying to see.
Collectively, like women pick up way more when they look at it, when they look at a performance. And like, you know, if you have a woman there telling you that like your costume is absolutely amazing, do you know, you're just like, oh, you know, I've done a good job. Thank God. She liked it. She enjoyed it. You know, the thing is, at the end of any show, I'm sure a lot of burlesque performers will say, men will never come up to you at the end of a show. Like, you could walk past them and they'd be like, good job. But they're really nervous. They're really nervous about coming over to talk to you. Whereas women will come over and they'll be like, oh my God, that was amazing. And, you know, you'll have the same things that they say, oh, the confidence it must take, you know, to get on stage. I find the more human that you are towards them when you're having that interaction, the better. Because, again, there's the Irish thing of that one thinks she's great. And you're like, no, I'm just like you. But I just put a really sparkly costume on and go into character, and I go on stage and I impressed you and I'm happy with that. you know.
So notions.
Notions, yes,
That's-
notions.
And then when the males are performing, then like some obviously you'd think that's in my head that the women be going looking at the men as well because they're stripping for them. Like you have strippers at a hen night, but it's not so. They're not really going to look at the men.
No, they're going to see the show like kind of like as like a whole entity. Like, you know, like the show would be like telling a story. It'll have a theme. Like the one before that, it was like our Valentine's show. So that was like, you know, like a lot of girls will go out with each other over Valentine's weekend. They'll have their galentines, and so a lot of like groups of women will go out together, and they'll come to like what I've seen over the last few years is that you will have like at the Valentine's show you will have a lot more women at the show with their friends. And you will have couples, and but they just love it. Like they just love, like they are cheering for the performers that are on stage. They want the performers to do well. They're impressed by everything that they do on stage. They just love it. They get to have a few drinks, to watch somebody be amazing on stage, and you know, and then they get to have a dance at the end of the night. Like, sure, of course they're going to love it, and like the men love it as well. Like, you know, like they really love it. Like even the men that come with their misses. You could be 100% sure it was the woman that was like, we need to get tickets for this show. And he's like, okay. And he'll come to the show and he'll sit down. And for him, then it's the most amazing thing. And, you know, for him, it might be a shock to the system to see a male performer on stage. But initially, like, I like to watch my audience when the performers are on stage. And I do tend to watch the male performers, the male audience members when the male performers come on stage. And they kind of go, and then they kind of go, and then they're in it.
Yeah,
they're in it. They're kind of like, you know, this is fine. It's totally okay for me to appreciate what this person is doing on stage. And women are the same. They see this like beautiful performer coming on stage, and they're, you know, they kind of have to. I know I do when I go to shows. I have this thing of like, oh, I wish I looked like that, and then that feeling fades away. And you're like in that performance with that performer, and you're just enjoying it, and you're like, you know, you're cheering for them, and it's like you're enjoying every minute of it, and that's just what happens at the shows, like, you know.
Yeah, no, it's true, because when we went last Friday, I was like, what the hell's going on here? And then when the guy came out with the wings,
yes,
and
Elijah Fox,
that was amazing. Like, he was just stuck to the whole thing, and I just remember him saying to Anthony, it's like, that guy should win it.
Yeah,
because it was just the music, the show, what he did, and it was like, wow, that was really.
And again, it's that
really
thing.
cool.
It goes back to of the amount of like effort that goes into like how you look going on stage, and you know, your song choice, and how you present yourself on stage. And it's like, you know, because a lot of people was like, when I had put Elijah Fox on with their Phoenix act, like people were like, what a way to like open the competition. It was like, you didn't make it easy for the judges at all. And I'm like, that's not what I'm there for. I'm there to make their job very, very hard. You know. But like that, like Elijah was your favourite, and I could be talking to somebody else and somebody else would be their favourite, because you know, that's why you have a variety of performers and they're not all the same.
But it kind of set the scene, because it was like, oh
yeah. And it was like, this is what's happening.
You were locked in then, and then everyone was like, everyone else was good, and in their own way, because they had their own stories. But yeah, it just took the kind of thing off, because like, I don't want to watch men strip.
Yeah.
And then like,
and then you went, and then you did. There was male performers on the night, and like that. I think it's more of like a fear thing, like it's a fear-based thing with some people when they haven't been to a burlesque show before, or even like a pole show, like they haven't been before. They don't know what to expect. Like they just don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
We all have an idea in our head of what it might be until we go, and then we see it. Do you know? Like, I mean, I myself have worked at, we'll just say adult themed parties, okay, where I've performed at them. Asked to perform, and I've went and I've performed at these parties where these adults, consensual adults, are doing their own thing. And like that, I had my own idea of what might be and what might take place, and I was very unsure about like, oh God, do I want to be in this space? Like, am I going to be okay in this space? And then when I was like talking to the organizer and went through everything with them, it was so professionally done. It was like, everybody that was there was so nice. I didn't feel uncomfortable at all. I didn't feel like anything seedy was going on. It was well organized. And, you know, and that to me, like when I had that doubt in my mind, I'm like, some people think this about burlesque shows and pole shows, because they have this thing in their head that it's this, and then it's like, no, you should come along. You should really come along and actually see, like, to the burlesque shows. You should come along. If you want to go to the other one, that's up to you. But come along to the burlesque shows and see what they're like. Like, it's not going to be what people think it's going to be.
No, it's not. A friend of mine's been to a few of yours, and he's like, you should come. And I was like, no, I'm going to watch that. Yeah. No way.
They're always afraid, like, you're going to put them in the front and pick on them. And because I do have friends that come, they're like, don't pick on me now when you're on the microphone, because I'd be hosting. I'm like, I'm not going to do that to you. I promise I'm not going to do it. I'll only pick on the people that deserve it. Yeah. You know.
Well, that's fair enough.
Yeah, the noisy performers, the ones that, or the noisy audience, the ones that won't sit down. Like, noisy in the bad way, not cheering for the audience good way. Like, cheering for the performers good way, yeah.
It's brilliant. There's a lot in it, so there's a lot. It's a whole new world, really. It's like a sub world within a world. Like, it's just.
It really is. I'm 10 years at it, and I'm still learning, and I'm 9 years producing my burlesque show, like Only After Dark. I'm 9 years producing that. I'm still learning, and I'm 4 years producing my festival, and I'm definitely still learning where that is concerned. I'm lucky that I kind of have a really good network of people that I can reach out to for help, and that will help me if there's any questions that I have, because they would have experience in it. Like, I'm not afraid to ask for help. And I think that's the best thing I've taken with me the whole way through, like, my burlesque journey, is that I'll always ask for help, because I don't want to get it wrong. Like, if I get it wrong, it's okay. People are allowed to make mistakes. Even in this day and age, people think that people can't make mistakes, but we all make mistakes. It's just human nature. And it's just how you recover from those mistakes and try and go forward and make it better, do you know?
And now, with all that experience that you have and the people behind you, for someone that wanted to get into it, that was looking to think, maybe I'd give this a go, or I'd like to try it, what advice would you give to them? What would you, same steps that you took, or is there easier routes now to try and get into it?
Like, if somebody was, like, just asking me in general. Yeah, like, I'm always like, you need to support shows, you need to follow performers, you need to look into your burlesque history. You know, you need to take a step back and kind of think of what kind of performer that you are going to be. You know, like that, go to workshops. Like, workshops are knowledge. Like, learn from people who know what they're doing. Approach people who are actively on the scene. They don't necessarily have to be performing, but if they're still teaching and have performed, like, these are people that know what they're talking about, and they're always there to help anybody who is a newcomer coming into the scene. There's more than enough people out there to help. There's obviously people there that will help as well, and, you know, like, obviously you have to pay them for their time too. That's only natural, because it does take time to give people advice and kind of try and steer and direct them in the right way. But yeah, there's a mountain of people out there, but I would always say, do your research and your background checks. It's very easy to get caught up with people that look like they have the thing, or they know what they're talking about, because they have these reels and buzzwords and stuff like that. I always tend to be like, have a look at the person that you're getting advice from, have a look at who they're following and who follows them and their interaction online, and go back a bit as well. Like, don't just look at the last year, go back a bit and, like, you know, see that this person is actually who they say they are, because, like any other industry, there are, like, people out there trying to scam newcomers coming into burlesque and offering, like, ridiculous scholarships and you're just bleeding newcomers of money. You're bleeding people who really want to get into the scene, and you're taking advantage of that. And that's why I'm always like, just do your background checks, and if you know somebody on the scene and you're possibly getting help from somebody else, there's no harm asking, do you know this person? Because I'm possibly doing this with them. And, like, as I said, there's more people out there that want to help you than there is wanting to take your money. But you might bump into that kind of person, you know. And as for producing, unless you love it and you're not in it for the money, don't bother, because it's not going to happen. You're not going to be making money unless you're working for, like, big like corporate gigs and stuff like that. If you're going making your own show, you have to be willing to make the sacrifice that you're not going to be earning money for a while at least, you know. Like, my festival itself, like, I don't pay myself for it. This is my baby, this is my project. I would much prefer that the money goes into my festival. It's like non-profit, so I don't make any money off it. I pay my staff and I pay my performers, and I get sponsorship from people in town, and that's it. And I do it, like, the festival wouldn't happen if I was in it for money.
Yeah.
You know, so if you want to get something off the ground, you have to make the sacrifice first.
That's
if
fair
you're
enough.
Producing, and that's my advice.
And for your festival, when is it? In September?
It is September 11th and 12th is the show nights in the Dean Crowe Theatre. The first night is the Shannon Spirit Award. That is where the newcomers come to compete for the Shannon Spirit Award. And then on the Saturday night is the main night, the gala night. And that is where the professionals come to compete to win the title, the Heart of Ireland. And then on the Sunday, we have Shenanigans on the Shannon. That's with the Viking cruise, where we have kind of like a drag and cabaret show on the cruise, and we go up the river with Viking Mike and George, and we come back down, and then we do like a pub crawl, and that's great. But there's going to be loads happening over the weekend. We have workshops. So we're going to have a belly dance workshop. There's going to be a boa workshop. That's like a prop that burlesque performers use.
Like the bow, big long boa feathers.
Yes,
yeah,
big
those,
long
yeah.
boa, yeah. If you don't have one, don't worry, you can bring a scarf. So we have that workshop. We have other burlesque workshops happening. We have Dr. Sketchies is taking part in the festival this year. I don't know if you ever heard Dr. Sketchies. They are kind of like a burlesque and draw. They're in the UK as well, and they're mainly based in Dublin. They used to kind of go around Ireland before the pandemic. So now they're kind of getting back in full swing. And they thought, what perfect way to start back than, you know, coming to Athlone to the festival.
Okay.
So that will happen on the Saturday. And it's basically like if you're into like art or life drawing or into that, you basically come along, you buy tickets, you take part. And it'll be in a venue. It's not confirmed yet, but it'll be in a venue that serves food and drink. So you'll have your models, who I can tell you is our reigning queen, Audrey Love, and then Miss Vita Devour is coming back. This will be her 5th year coming back to the festival. She was the reigning queen the year before, so they'll be coming. They're going to be the models, and then Vita Devour will be performing at that. That's kind of like during the day on the Saturday. So there's lots going on.
Busy weekend. So you'll be busy from here until then getting
like at the
sorted.
moment now it's getting sponsorship now, so just going around the town. In fairness, the last few years I say it about Athlone, I'm like small town big heart, because the local businesses are great for helping out with the festival.
Brilliant.
And you know, just throwing a few pounds so we can, you know, book flights for the headliners and accommodation and stuff that needs to be got, you know, for the festival before a ticket is ever sold. So yeah, we obviously have the Dark Horse on board again this year. We have Love My Hair. We have Old Stone Tattoo Studio.
Eric's doing it. Brilliant.
Yeah. Of course, Eric is in there. Yeah. He loves helping out, so he does. And we have Nuts Corner and the Bailey, and we have another Annabelle Wigs. They're from the UK, where most burlesque performers get their extra hair for on stage. They do fantastic like pin-up style wigs. They're sponsoring us this year. Bears Boas is sponsoring us as well. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to do this shout out, but I'm doing it. But they're sponsoring us this year as well. So, and we're just waiting for a few hotels to get back to see
brilliant.
if they're going to sponsor us this year as well. So, because everything helps, like, you know, and we're hoping to do a fundraiser night soon. Be a table quiz. I don't have any dates to share, but I will let you know, and you can share it on your
we'll put
your
it up.
socials.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll come and answer a few questions on dresses and stuff.
Dresses.
I'm sure we'll win it.
Yeah. No, I don't know if it'll be a fancy dress one now for the table quiz.
Yeah. So you don't have to have questions from burlesque. Some of them will have a round on burlesque, will they?
Yeah. There will be. Yeah, there'll be a round on burlesque. Yeah, we'll go easy on you because yeah, we will. Be like mad history questions.
But it'd be great though. But obviously it's getting bigger. So obviously with sponsorship, you're bringing a lot of people into the town.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the idea behind it, is to get people in. And
it's like international performers that come, like, you know, like they'll bring their friends, and then, you know, you'll have people like from Ireland as well that will be performing, and they'll bring their friends, and then you just have people who are generally interested in the art form itself that will come to the festival. Like the festival has become like a big part of their like burlesque calendar year, which I think is amazing, because I didn't think, you know, that's what my festival was going to be. Do you know, as we do say, I had notions, and these notions have like really gone in full swing. And as I said, it's scary, but I'm going to keep at it.
But it's fun, and we'll be back for the next one. I loved it. So we'll be back, so it'll be great. So it'll be all.
And now you know what to expect.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
You know what to expect.
So it's
cool.
Not
as scary as you thought it was.
No.
And I told you, everybody's really nice. and they're
Yeah.
professionals. They love the camera.
They do.
You're like,
love
can I
the
ask you a
camera.
few questions? They're like, yes.
They do love a camera.
They do, I told you.
In fairness,
Professionals, yeah.
So yes, anyone that's thinking of going, just go,
Yeah.
because you'll have a great time.
Yeah. Like the tickets are on sale. Again, I don't know when this is out, but the early bird tickets are on sale May 1st. And then after that, you'll have the weekend passes and then like the individual tickets. So if you were just going on the Friday or the Saturday, you have the choice of going. I do recommend get the weekend passes because it's a much better deal. So they'll be on sale on the Heart of Ireland Burlesque Festival website and the Dean Crow theatre website as well. The tickets will be on sale.
Perfect. And we'll put the information, the links. As
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
So
yeah,
people
yeah.
can
And then
click on it.
as the months go on, we'll have the workshops going up, the tickets for them, and the tickets for the shenanigans on the Shannon with
Brilliant.
Viking Mick. Yeah, yeah. So it's all go.
It's all go.
We
Next
just
year-
need people to buy tickets.
That's all. I might even perform next year. You'd never know.
Oh, you never know.
I might go into
You could
training.
be my next burlesque baby. We'll have to think of a name for you now and everything.
Jeez, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. We'll get you a pair of wings. You'd be delighted.
Is there an OAP section? Does it go by age? No.
No, it doesn't go by age. Stop.
No.
No. Burlesque doesn't have an age on it. It's fine. It's fine. I'm 42 and I'm still doing it.
You're only-
Winging me way. We'll see what happens. My joints say otherwise.
Keep going.
I'll
You'll be
keep going.
grand.
I'll keep going. Yeah.
Michelle, thanks so much for coming in. That
you very much for having me.
was a pleasure to,
Was
to,
it?
to get
Felt
into.
like I waffled on a lot, but yeah.
No, that's what we know. We wanted that. We wanted
Yeah.
to hear it all and
Yeah.
from the horse's mouth, so to
Yeah.
speak. So yeah, thanks for coming in, and we look best of luck with the show. It's coming up this weekend, and for the festival that will be there anyway. So hopefully
Yeah.
you'll get a huge crowd.
Exactly, yeah. And thanks so much for having me. And again, people buy your tickets because without you, we can't have these shows. And it's a beautiful weekend where it's an excuse to get some sparkles on and come in and be extra fancy and get your photos taken and be in documentaries and stuff. It'll be fab.
Yeah, and that's just men. Yeah,
Yeah,
happy
that's
days.
it.
Happy days.
Yeah, exactly.
Michelle, thanks a million.
Thank you very much.
We'll
Slán
talk to you
go fóill.
soon. Take care.